Hey rugby fans, welcome back to my channel. Now my name is Ralph and welcome to Rugby Fanatic. Now today we're diving deep into a major change coming to rugby in 2024. Now you might have heard, all of you guys might have heard from or haven't. Stay tuned because I'm gonna explain my vision and also share my thoughts. And a lot of people have already covered this topic, so I thought, oh man, I just thought I'll just share my opinion and my thoughts about this 20-minute red card and the new laws in 2024. I know a lot of people have already based their opinions on this. Still playing with people's heads at the moment, and they just probably some have just don't understand, or can't, can't understand why these law changes are implementing into 2024. So let's just get started. So first, let's break it down. Now, what is a 20-minute red card actually is? Traditionally, a red card means a player is sent off for serious foul play or a professional foul, leaving their team down a player for the remainder of the match. Now, we're so used to, players getting red card and then they're out of the game. It got us real excited, as a rugby fan, got us real like, oh, this is interesting, But now there's no more of that, and now it's been replaced. So now that the new rule, the new rule is, from my understanding, a team can replace that player after 20 minutes. I don't know, it's an interesting one. Like I said, we're so used to the player getting red card, and they're out for the remainder of the match. But then now they've introduced this new rule that a team can replace that player after 20 minutes. I don't know. There's been a shift, eh? There's been a shift of, changes in my understanding that this shift is designed to maintain the game a bit competitive, ensuring that player safety, is key. Imagine a scenario where a team goes down to 14 players for an entire match. I mean, it can completely change the whole dynamics, right? But with the 20-minute rule, this new rule that's been implemented, the game retains some balance, allowing teams to recover and strategize. Yeah, I just can't get my head around it. For me, it's just saying, players, I think coaches really need to teach their players how to tackle properly. That's just basically what it's saying, is that we need to teach our players how to tackle properly. Get their tackles low, the tactics, the technique is getting your tackle. You got to tackle low. But unfortunately, there's always been some accident, there's been some foul play, there's been some, wrong technique. I mean, what is the right technique, especially in tackling? What is the right technique? Every technique has been performed. We're being coached, we're being coached at the basics and also the advanced, the technical stuff around tackling. Would it make a difference in the game? Probably not. Does it have a huge impact? It probably will. I mean, you know, in my opinion, rugby is rugby. It's a brutal sport. Let's just face it. Reality is they're there to kill one another, chop each other's heads off, in the field, and that's rugby. That we've known as rugby fans, we've known that, it's a brutal game, physical, it's a physical contact. Now this game has turned into, I don't know, so many laws and rules. Now the players might as well just play touch. Might as well play touch rugby or play netball or something. Or even don't play the sport. Simple as that. Or don't even play rugby. If we're getting so many concussions, if the statistics of concussion is high, don't play the game. If you're going to have so many concussions, it's going to screw you up in the long run, in the future. So when we think about players and ensuring that they players' safety, well then, if we want to keep our players safe, well then don't play the sport. That's how we're going to reduce, the amount of concussions if we don't play the sport. There's no rugby, but there's no such thing as safety in rugby. Players don't intentionally smash the player, or they don't intentionally do that, but it's just part of the game. It's the rugby nature. You're gonna go in there, clash heads. It is what it is. It's gonna happen. Anyways, so moving on. So why implement this change? The primary reason is player safety and also long-term effects, because it can affect the players, yes. And this rule allows referees to take their time assessing incidents involving head impacts without immediately penalizing the team for the full duration of the game. Yeah, that's a tough one. Of course, player safety first. We've got to make sure we protect our players, and that's understandable. I can understand that. But if we're implementing all these rules and trying to find solutions, it's not going to work. You might as well teach the players how to tackle, you know, get that timing right, or tackle low, don't tackle high, don't aim for the head, but accidents happen in rugby. That's the nature of the game. From my understanding, I generally think that this is a progressive step. Some might argue, the impact of receiving a red card, but I guess, let's say just for the play safety, I see it as a necessary evolution where rugby has always prided itself on being a tough sport. Like I said, it's a physical sport, but we need to balance toughness with player welfare. It's about time we acknowledge that, and I guess it's, like I said, it's good for the game. Well, not really, because it's ruining the whole concept of rugby, because rugby is a brutal game, like I said. It's got to be physical. And if you're not up for it, well, then don't play the game. Simple as that. Or don't even invent the game rugby, in the first place, if we're getting high number of concussions. That's just my thoughts. Now, in this new rule with the 20-minute red card rule, I think it's a good way to keep our players safe. So they're focusing on player safety, which I get it, and I understand. Now, let's explore how this rule might change gameplay. So, I guess coaches, from my understanding, coaches will need to adapt. And also, for instance, if a team goes down to 14 players, they could either double down on defense, knowing that they'll get their players back soon. Now, additionally, conditioning becoming crucial, for the players to prepare for those 20 minutes of intense rugby, knowing that they are in a numerical disadvantage. So training sessions might shift focus to endurance and quick decision making under pressure, creating more dynamic style of play. And of course, not everyone is on board with this whole change, like I'm not, because, like I said, it's ruining the game. Sorcering social media and reactions are all over the place, all over rugby channels, just some fans love the idea of more tactical depth. So, while others feel it undermines this serenity of dangerous play. It's fascinating to see such a diverse opinion. So, like I said in the beginning of my video, there's going to be different opinions coming from different angles. So, my opinion, it's just, yeah, you shouldn't play rugby at all. And number two, you've got to start teaching your players how to tackle, simple as that. And especially in a sport as rugby is a traditional game. It's a religion. It's people pride themselves to play the game. But in engaging in this topic is in this conversation, it's vital because it's been a topic that's been talked about in the whole world. So rugby is just not just about the game on the field. Okay, let's face it. It's about the community that supports it. How do you feel about the 20-minute red card? Does it enhance the game or does it risk making less serious? So I'm asking you guys, that's the question. How do you feel about the 20-minute red card? Does it enhance the game or does it risk making it less serious? So let me know your comments below. And if this rule is, is not changing the game, it's ruining the whole game, like myself, in my opinion. If this rule is just one part of a larger discussion about evolving rugby laws alongside the 20-minute red card, well, we're also seeing changes aimed at speeding up the game. I guess it's just making sure that the game is more faster and more, there's so many laws and it's so many tactical stuff. It's too technical. But for instance, for scrums, engagement and tackle height regulation, our scrums is probably the most high increase of concussions, especially our props and our hookers, because, they're engaging, in that scrum, that physical contact. And also our tackle as well, as I mentioned, the height regulation is very vital in the game, and it's very strict as well. And referees, they'll pin you for it. So these changes for me could lead to a, on a positive note, could lead to a faster paced game, making it more exciting for fans and also players alike. While some may feel, I don't know, feel like it's like myself, I miss the old ways, or go back to the old ways. I believe innovation is essential for the sport's future. I mean, rugby needs to remain relevant and engaging for the next generation of the players. So as we move closer to the 2024, it's essential for us players, coaches, and fans to embrace these changes and adapt the 20-minute rule, because it's a bold step and it's up to us to see how it's played out on the field. I'm excited to see how it will unfold. So thanks for joining me today. What are your thoughts on these new laws? Share them below and let's chat. Until next time, keep supporting the game we love, and we'll see you in the next video.